Good afternoon, Dr. Angrist.
Afternoon.
Dr. Angrist, please tell us a bit about your education.
Okay, I have a BS on biology that I obtained in 1972 from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I have a MD from Chicago Medical School University and Chicago Residency Clinical Pathology from 1977 to 1979.
Okay, have you written any publications?
Yeah, over 200 publications.
And have you received any honors?
Yes, just to name a few: honorary Doctor of Science degree from Yeshiva University, Distinguished Service Medal in Medicine from Jewish Memorial Hospital.
And how did you meet Mr. Ramirez?
How?
Yes, when did you meet him?
I met him about 2 weeks ago.
And did you have an opportunity to review some documents before you met him?
Yes, I reviewed the records that were made available to me of his admission at Cook County Hospital from the time of, he was shot in December 1996 to his discharge some weeks later.
And what history did Mr. Ramirez provide to you as far as how his shooting occurred?
He told me he was shot and he showed me the scar at the point of entry. He said he was laying on the ground and attempting to get up, and in the process of getting up from a flat position to an upright position, the bullet struck him.
Okay, and was that consistent with the examination?
Yes.
Okay. And in what was your overall opinion? Can you please elaborate on it?
He was shot from a distance of about 3 feet. That's what he told me. And if that's so, that is an unusual wound shape. Wounds for such a distance, the ballistic of the situation is that to get that kind of a ragged wound, there must have been some relative mobility between the point of impact and the bullet entering. It must have not just, otherwise it would be a single small circular hole.
Okay, a small circular hole.
Yes.
You were saying if there was no mobility.
Yes. Very confirmatory to my mind. Yes.
What would happen if Ramirez would have been shot at a position of him standing up in this position, Dr. Angrist, and shot in the back? What would occur then? Would that be consistent with what you saw?
It is not consistent. Then I would expect a simple hole with a traumatic margin, but not disordered. Not a disordered wound of entry of this kind.
Okay. And just repeat what we said at the beginning for the jury. What did Ramirez say as far as like how the injury occurred?
He said that he was he had been in the process of getting up from a flat position to an upright position when the bullet struck him.
Okay. And in your review, tell us a little bit about your review again, if you could reiterate that.
Review of the Cook County Hospital records indicated that the gunshot wound measured about 1 centimeter in diameter, where the margin of the wound are consistent with the history of the relative motion between the patient's body and the path of the bullet as he was attempting to get up.
And what's your overall conclusion?
In my opinion, however, that Mr. Ramirez was moving in some direction at the time he was hit by the bullet, and the direction of the bullet that was fired was at least slightly downward into his back.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You're a witness. Good afternoon, Dr. Angrist.
Good afternoon.
Doctor, did you conduct a complete physical examination of Mr. Ramirez?
No, that wasn't a complete physical. I examined him apropos the lesion that he had with a positive finding.
In other words, the whole purpose of examining Mr. Ramirez was to evaluate the particular wound that he had, that is the subject of this case?
Yes.
How long did this examination take?
Well, he must have been in my home for an hour or nearly an hour.
1 hour. In your home?
Around that time, yes.
And you call that an examination?
Well, I looked at him, I guess that was an examination.
Okay. And what is your opinion as to what caused the wound?
You mean after it healed? Is that your question?
Well, let's take it one step at a time. Let's start with at the time that this wound occurs.
Okay, at the time that this occurred. Well, I was not there, but my opinion is that I think it is a good opinion, but is that he moved in relationship to the impact of the bullet.
So you're saying that he was moving in somehow, some way?
Yes, basically.
Well, doctor, was he moving side to side?
Well, I don't know.
Was he moving up and down?
I don't know. When I said I don't know, that includes those directions. But it could have been up and down too, for all I know.
Okay. Were you in the operating room when this occurred?
No, but they've got a very good description of what they found.
Doctor, it's just a yes or no question. Were you in the operating room when this
No,
occurred?
I was not.
Okay. So you don't know which way he moved, and you weren't in the operating room when this occurred. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And isn't it true that you examined Mr. Ramirez about 1.5 years after this particular injury occurs?
Yes, it is true.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.